Okay, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good day to our dear guests and all our honorable guest audience from all around the world. Yeah. And today we are going to have the time of decision of this conference program. Everybody, welcome to the WorldSkills Conference 2021, the Road Ahead Skills for a Resilient Future. Today, we are going to have a decision on the fourth day and the third panel, digital skills. So far, diversified but almost concrete definition of digital skills has been reached. That is, use digital devices, communication applications, and a network to access and manage information, which has been defined by UNESCO. And of course, there's a huge range and variety. So it's at the beginning level, entry-level digital skills. It may refer to making basic use of digital devices and online applications and software. But on the other side, the advanced spectrum of digital skills is considered as use higher level abilities, for example, use digital technologies for empowering and transformative ways, such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, and big data, and so on. Those technologies are changing the skills requirement and impacting capacity building and skill development for the modern digital economy. Although current backdrop, long-term implications of COVID-19 pandemic are not yet clear to the world, we must survive and thrive from the catastrophe. So digital skills, whether digital transforming or skill competition related, are of great importance for promoting skills, improving digital skills, competition or related, that are great or very important, vital, essential for promoting digital skills. It will be the essential way, effective way, not only for young generation, but also for aged people. Not only for rural area, but also include many big city, the cosmopolitan, like Shanghai and Beijing. Yeah. Okay, so today the goals of today's session is to learn or discuss about, first one is the digital transforming in European schools, the digital transformation. Second one is maybe where it will goes to digital solutions for the skills competition and vocational education and training, transformation, digital skills competition, and there's a camp, the best practices. And third one, it may be involve about practice and exploration of nationwide digital skills promoting for all in China. And after that, we may discuss how digital skills can help us to build resilience to the withstanding future crises, and how to secure inclusion, learning continuity, and recovery from the current or post-COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so for how to interact with us, please you may send your question via chat of the Zoom link, and also you may use the question and answer the button at the end of this session. But of course, due to the time restriction, only a few questions selected will be asked. Okay. Today, we would like to introduce the panelists. Yeah. So firstly of all, we have the honor to have the Dr. Paweł Posgetec. He's the official delegate from WorldSkills Poland and Director General of the Polish National Agency of Erasmus Plus program and European Solidarity Corps. And also he served as a member of several working groups by European Commission and the Ministry of National Education of the Republic of Poland. Yeah. And also we are honored to have the Alina Daskanova. She's a technical delegate, and she is WorldSkills Russia and Deputy Director General and WorldSkills Asia board member. Yeah. And the very last and most probably the best is we invited Mr. Zhai Tao from the WorldSkills China. He's the head of section of vocational competition management, which is in the Department of Vocational Capacity Building under Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security of People's Republic of China. And about me, I'm Chen Xiaoxi, the moderator at your service. I'm an associate researching professor, which is working at WorldSkills Competition China Research Tianjin Center, which is under the university name is Tianjin University of Technology and Education. Okay, without further, so I think it's a time to come to the speakers, the presentation. So I think the first part will come to the digital transformation in European schools. So for here in Poland and in other European countries. So we would like to, the curious or wondering how about the digital transforming has been happening and with the currently context of COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, Paul, I think the Paul Posgetec. So we are honored to invite you. Please and come here and give your presentation. Okay, Paul, now over to you, please.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to express our great gratitude to our Chinese colleagues and conference organizers who gave us this opportunity to share our thoughts and reflections on digital transformation, not only in Poland, but in a broader European context, although I will show Polish perspective on this as well. Okay, so digital skills, digital transformation in European schools. So next slide, please. So actually, in order to sketch, we have only 15 minutes. So in order to sketch a picture, I would like to use three areas or three examples. I will tell you a few words about the contribution of the e-twinning program. This is the pan-European program commissioned by the European Commission and its contribution to the development of digital skills. And then I will tell you about vet sector experience in the use of online and virtual space for practical training and apprenticeship. And then a few words about digital skills of Erasmus Plus program leaders. As you know, Erasmus Plus program is a European flagship educational program in Europe. Next slide, please. Okay, so e-twinning program. E-twinning program was launched in 2005 by the European Commission, and subsequently different countries in Europe were joining. Now the program proliferated also outside Europe, and we also within e-twinning program we also have Jordan, we have Azerbaijan, we have Armenia, we have many other countries as well. So it's not only European now, but it's also proliferating outside. An e-twinning program is dedicated to schools who would like to have a partner from another country and just realize standard didactic and pedagogical activities which they normally perform in their schools during their normal school practice, but they would like to do it together with another school from another country, and they would like to do it in a virtual space. So e-twinning program is not for pupils or teachers exchange. It's for common cooperation. It's for common activities realized, undertaken in virtual space. Schools from Europe and not only create and implement and disseminate innovative online projects where participants co-create. This is a key word. They co-create and exchange digital materials which can be used during the didactical process in Poland and in other countries or wherever. So in order to do this, the European Commission created an online platform which is actually operating in 27 languages. This platform offers opportunities for schools and for staff and pupils to communicate, collaborate, and develop projects. This platform has got a lot of functionalities. So starting from the beginning, you can find if you register to the platform and you provide your profile as a school, your interest, your location, what you would like to do, actually the system will tell you what kind of partners, possible partners you might have. So there are some tools to look for the partners. Then there are tools to communicate, different types of communicators and virtual spaces to realize the projects, and also the virtual space to store what you've created, all those digital materials, all those things that you are going to use during your didactic process. So thanks to this, it is accessible. It is accessible for you and for your partner, but it is also accessible to different experts who monitor this work. And if the projects happen to be very innovative and can be used also elsewhere, the schools get different kinds of prizes, different kinds of stars, and so on and so on. Very efficient tool, very efficient platform. But also this program provides the professional teachers, the platform provides teachers with professional development activities. So all the national agencies for e-twinning program in different countries also organize trainings for the teachers, so that these activities on the platform could go smoothly. And one of the examples from our country is that last week we organized for the first time, we organized the training for the teachers, e-twinning teachers, with the use of artificial intelligence during the didactic process. So far, we concentrated on the use of different IT tools. For the first time, we incorporated materials, and we engaged different experts from universities how to engage, how to employ artificial intelligence in the didactic process. So if you, in order to give you the idea how big the program is, so you can see here from the slide that since 2005, over 128,000 projects have been implemented. And as you can see, almost 1 million teachers from more than 200,000 schools have been involved. And as you can also see, 43 countries are involved in the program. So as far, obviously, all schools are invited, among them also the vocational and educational training schools are included as well. And these schools, the vocational schools, constitute slightly over 5% of all schools involved in the project. As far as Poland is concerned, we have 7% of all Polish schools involved. 7% of these schools are vocational schools. And on our side, as you can see, 6,000 teachers have been involved, and they have already realized over 1,000 projects. So you can see the scale. Next slide, please. Okay, so the second example. So vet sector experience in the use of online and virtual space for organizing practical training and apprenticeship examples. So we, as a Polish team and as a Polish Bureau for WorldSkills, we were participating within a group of a few countries. So you can see this: United Kingdom, Russian Federation, Finland, Namibia, and Belgium. and we organized an online competition for cooking. It was a part of the preparation, training preparation for WorldSkills in Graz 2021. So it was organized in April this year. And that was the example that you can use virtual space, you can use online tools to organize the competitions, like cooking, for example, which is obviously demanding because you cannot through the computer you cannot taste and smell the food, but there are ways to communicate, and there are experts available on the spot, and you can successfully organize it like this as well. So our achievement in this was 1 silver medal and 1 medal of excellence. Okay, next slide, please. We, as the agency of Erasmus program, we have the insight, and we also our experts select different types of projects for funding within Erasmus Plus program. There are a lot of projects. Just to give you a hint, what is the scale? So I can tell you that in the last perspective of Erasmus Plus program, which means from 2014 to 2020, we've been able to send over 100,000 pupils and students abroad for a few months apprenticeship within vocational and education training scheme. In most cases, Polish pupils and students used to choose, they usually choose German car factories to have this apprenticeship, or they choose France or Portugal and Spain to have apprenticeship in hotels, in gastronomy, in restaurants. These are the most typical destinations and vocational professions. But we also fund different types of projects for vocational and education training, which make this a type of education more attractive and more interesting for young people. This is the example, one of the examples of such projects, Drive. This is Erasmus Plus project within strategic partnership for VET. And as you can see, the final result was the online platform for virtual reality application for teaching automotive vehicle technicians about alternative sources of vehicle propulsion. The coordinator of the project was a Polish organization, but we had partners here. The Polish organizer of the project had international partners from the Czech Republic and from Spain. So the total grant in euro, it was over 200,000 euros. And there are hundreds of projects like this. So you can see the scale. Only for this year, for Erasmus Plus program, our budget only for Poland, not for the whole Europe, but only for Poland, is a few dozens of millions of euros. So you can see the scale. Okay, next slide, please. So what is also interesting, we are carrying out different types of researches. We are serving different beneficiaries, different people involved in all these activities. And I can say that if we ask teachers, VET teachers, what are the benefits of being involved and participating in those programs, they say that this program, either it is eTwinning or Erasmus Plus or WorldSkills, whatever, they say that participation in these programs contribute to the development of such key skills like communication, cooperation, teamwork, self-discipline, self-reliance. So we are talking here about transversal competences, which are it is difficult to develop these competences during the formal didactic process. But when the teachers and pupils and students are involved in practically in those projects, the development of these competences boosts. Okay, next slide, please. And the last example, to make it short, because we are running out of time. So we also made a research on our Erasmus Plus project leaders within the VET area. And as you can see, because of several years experience before pandemic in those projects, as you can see, their digital and technical skills are quite high. But that made them resilient and resistant to ill effects of the pandemic, because only 30% of projects in 2020 were for different reasons suspended or prolonged because of the pandemic. Only 30%. So most of them were continued successfully. And this is due to digital and technical skills of our leaders, project leaders. But as you can also see, if you look at the bottom, social and psychosocial competences, as for us maintaining within this subcategory of maintaining contacts and cooperation, their skills are also here very high. And that prevented them from breaking up the project. So this is a very good sign. But at the same time, when you look here at the dimension of the social competence, the dimension of adaptability and managing stress during the pandemic, as you can see, our leaders scored very low. And actually, this is why those 30, this is not the only reason, but this is the most influential reasons and factor why those 30% of projects were not delivered successfully during the worst pandemic year, which was 2020. So the conclusion is that you need digital and technical skills, but digital transformation is not only about hardware, software, and digital skills. It's also about, and probably in a very strongly, it's about maintaining contacts, cooperation. It's the ability to maintain your group, your network, and to have different social skills to keep your group keep your group together. So for me, this is the sign of the digital transformation. If you have, we do not have time to talk about managerial and cognitive competences now, but if you have quite well developed digital and technical skills supported by social skills, then it's a sign that you have undergone this digital transformation, and you are prepared for those new challenges and for this new reality that we have and we will have. We hope that the pandemic will finish sooner or later, but probably we will have other challenges ahead of us, and these skills, those competences have to stay with us. They will always be needed. So if you'd like to see more about our activities, you can get the access to our institution, to the programs that we offer, and also to eTwinning program. So thank you very much. If there are any questions, obviously I will be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you so much. I think it's a fantastic presentation from Paul. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So from the presentation, we have learned that in Poland and in European other countries, they are digital transforming. In schools, is proactively ongoing process, which is comprehensively and continuously pushed by stakeholders. Yeah. So for the information from your presentation, I think all the evidence suggests that it might be a feasible way to respond to the challenges brought by the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you. And as introduced by Paul, at a general level, there are systematic approaches in Polish and other European schools for digital transforming. So maybe people will be wondering that, is that a most effective and efficient way approach? And currently, due to the coronavirus, it might be a difficult or dangerous to have the traditional skills competition like what we have done before. So today we are just invite Miss Alina. So she's going to share the digital solutions for the skills competition and vocational education transformation. And there are some new concept is about digital skills competition and CAPS. So Alina, so please share your experience. Okay, over to you.
Hello everyone, it's really great to be here. First of all, thanks for Skills International and WorldSkills China and Shanghai team for arranging this conference. It's very important for all of us to be together and give last updates about our development. So I would like to start presentation like from global point of view. We all know that the global transition from physical space and services to digital space is happening right now. And we know that COVID accelerates this growing trend of digitalization. And a lot of TVET institutions faced with a real challenge how to continue within remote format education during last 2 years. And from our WorldSkills Russia side, as a skills development agency, with our partners, we set up different activity, how to support that system actually. Next slide, please. Basically, we start digital skills competition in Russia in 2017. We set up it's to develop digital skills in general, and we start with wide demand IT skills, because like even 5-10 years ago, IT skills are the most demand skills in the labor market. So we would like to develop the IT skills with as much more possible people, and it was competition basically regarding like most demand, like graphic design, web technology, IT software solution, IT administration. So then through the next development, we understand that through digitalization and automatization, these elements of digital skills is a part of new prospective jobs. New prospective jobs like drones operating, like machine learning, like robots system integration. So all of these skills also related to digital development. And finally, we understand that digital skills and IT skills are transversal. So nowadays, with new requirements for digital technologies, construction, agriculture, industrial, all sectors, even medicine, all sectors of our life have this digital component. So basically, when we set up digital skills, we set up, yes, it's like a competition, but it was not like to identify who is the best. It was more like laboratory to identify new digital skill set together and set up new educational programs in that institution and actually find different way how to make digital assessment. Next slide, please. So it was development in venue format. We have experience to set up the competition in venue format before pandemic and one competition during pandemic. However, this pandemic period also gave us really great impulse to develop more and more technology based on our digital skills camps. And skills camps itself is like series of trainings. And then this series of training finish with mini competition, which is some kind of practical format of independent skills assessment. So in this case, we have been experienced one very important point that we have been experienced to run our national competition in 2020 in hybrid format with a lot of digital technologies and tools. And it was really successful, and we got a lot of requests from different countries to share this experience. So to share this experience, we arranged different trainings events for this. As well, all of us who are part of WorldSkills community know that it was very important to support experts and competitors who are keeping going with training, with different activities. So also we arrange these trainings for experts and competitors. Next slide, please. So basically what is important and how it works in general to develop this digital solution. So for us, the most important that here in Russia, WorldSkills for us is a network of regions, network of educational institutions, network of companies and industries. So like we cover more than 85 regions in Russia, we cover more than 2,000 of educational institutions, hundreds of universities, hundreds of companies. So in normal life, usually we arrange different activities for best practice sharing, and there is always one or two leaders who develop something and would like to spread this practice across our network. So it was the same model for digital skill solution development. We identify the one on who leads regarding infrastructure or who leads regarding technology and who is able to share this infrastructure. So lucky that cloud infrastructure have developed very fast all around the country, even before pandemic. So we identify the way how to make classes and practical lessons in this cloud infrastructure, how to provide remote access to workshops which have physical infrastructure, and how to arrange this special communication channel between our network. So basically, it was, and there are still like this, like there is one center who coordinate and provide trainings, and all others have this remote access to the centers. And I can tell you that, of course, all of us like this communication come together to have big event together. But sometimes even regarding costs, if you need to develop your skills continuously and you're not able to travel because of cost of flight tickets, at least you have possibility to get access to some workshops. And especially I think that's very important when we are talking about not just about best practice, but how to spread this practice, because different countries, different peoples have different opportunities, and not all have real access to good infrastructure. So these remote decisions give us really a great success. Can you go to the next slide, please? So basically, when we can summarize some results of last few years, we come to solutions that it's possible actually to develop different kind of solutions. So one of the solution is to make remote test workshops. We call it like remote polygon. I can explain you using few skills. So like we have drone operating skill. So it's about programming, it's about operating and repairing. So basically, for programming side, it could be competitors, it could be students. You just need to have special software and your computer. So then you are able to develop this code. And then for the operating part, there is a special remote venue, actually in one physical place with infrastructure. So you send this your code, or you can get remote access, and you can try to operate drone in a big flight polygon on a distant way. Also, like examples regarding, for example, what is important that to make these solutions, you need to have good experts, you need to have educational partner and a real industrial partner. So for drone, for example, we have Russian company COEX who develops special software and Russian university who provide infrastructure. For robotic welding, for example, we have partner Fanuc, he is global industrial partner of WorldSkills International. So actually, experts have been developed special task, which is and special software when you're able to make digital twin of real robot. So this digital twin in special software, you program this robot to make operation. And then it was a special workshop on the venue of Fanuc, like laboratory, and we test all the test projects which have been done by competitors. So it means that sometimes we should to identify this digital element and have only one real infrastructure to support continuous skills development among our community. Also, like really great examples regarding more and more emulators and special software have been developed, like especially for all the skills which is related with big digital component, like machine learning, like industrial design technology, like quantum technology. And it's again like for some skills it was Russian companies, like for cybersecurity we developed special software by InfoWatch. But for example, to develop building information modeling and industrial design technology, we work close together with Autodesk and develop new practical cases. Also, what is very important for Russia, I think, for example, like China is much ahead in this to develop digital platforms for learning. Actually, in the world of digital solution for education, it's called EdTechs. So for some skills, Russian expert community developed not just ideas how to run practical lessons, they develop like learning platform, which provide full cycle support for skills development. So like experts can come there, have learning experience, got all materials there. So when you are responsible for that in your countries, it's really important to have platforms when you can bring all community and give them chance for development. Next slide, please. So basically on the experience to arrange this different digital solution, which first of course comes for digital competition, but based on the success and the way how it's possible to manage and spread all around the country, we have got requests from our educational institutions, partners, that it's great to arrange special training for trainers, how to use these digital solutions, how to use digital platform, how to arrange this digital communication and between different educational institutions. Also, we have requests and we have partners for making these short courses, like 36 up to 200 hours, regarding practical cases of digital skills and future skills as a part of implementation of holistic educational program. As well, these solutions help us to keep going with trainings of experts and competitors. So we can see that for us, digital skills competition and digital skills camps is sometimes like a sandbox. So we can test, pilot different skill solutions and like develop it together with our partners and then spread to our network. So in this case, we keep this in some kind of learning ecosystem. So that's all from my side. We'll be happy to answer all the questions, as well as to find possibility to cooperate. Thank you that you are with us and at this session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Alina. And I have to say, wow, what a the bright end way in Russia. I think there's a digitalized solution for skills competitions and the camp. I think in which they can help many young people to have access to learn and understand digital skills. And from my perspective, it's not only a possible way for us, but also brightened solution for handling current problem caused by pandemic. Yeah. So I think in Russia, and the activity provide a very good example for our WorldSkills members. Thank you again, Alina. Yeah. And the next one, we are come to the fourth part. It's about practical exploration of nationwide digital skills competition for all in China. So Mr. Zhai Tao, he's an administrator in WorldSkills China, which on the Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security. He's engaging with the TVET development and responsible for organizing many national skills competition. And we would like to know how is the practices, experiences, and fighting for promoting digital skills in China. And by the way, Mr. Zhai Tao will speak in Chinese, and and he will use the most advanced, one of the most advanced methodology, unplugged way. Unplugged way. Yes. So for the other audience, please use the English channel. Yeah. So, Mr. Zhai Tao, please.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. It's a great pleasure for me to be able to participate in this session on digital skills. I've listened to the insights from Poland and from Russia. I have really learned a lot, so I will very briefly talk about how China has been pushing forward the development of digital skills at the national level, our explorations and our practices. Our world has entered an era of digitalization. Digital economy has been developing very rapidly, and digital skills have been changing and evolving constantly. This means that the general public are faced with new requirements of mastering digital skills. The Chinese government attaches great importance to enhancing the general public's competence in digital skills in the 14th five-year plan and in the long-term development goals by 2035 for China. We have integrated in these two plans the goal of developing a digital economy, developing digital society, and developing a digital government. So these is a very important guidance for all walks of life in China. For the Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security in China, we are in charge of this work, enhancing the capacity of the general public in terms of digital skills. So we have made some research and we did a lot of discussions. Different research institutes around the world have different definitions about digital skills, and we have also been thinking about what does it mean, digital skills. We need to make some differentiations. That's how we can further push forward digital skills training in a more targeted way. The use of digital skills might be very different. So we have the digital skills for application and digital skills for professional uses. For professional uses, digital trainings might be destined for professionals, for example, cloud computing, IoT, blockchain, 5G, AI, etc., etc. So these are the professionals indeed in these areas. They want to do development, analysis of data, integration of data, etc., etc. But for digital skills for application, it's destined for the general public. For example, me and participants of the meeting, for example, we are not the front line professionals in IoT or blockchain. We work in, for example, the government or the private companies, or I'm just a teacher. So we, in our daily life, we also want to leverage state-of-the-art technologies and digital tools to improve our lives. We need this kind of ability.
这是一种数字。
So these are more like general digital skills, whereas specialized digital skills are more innovative, they're highly specialized because they serve different purposes. General digital skills are more accessible and more conventional. They lay the foundation for more regular jobs and professions. So in order for us to improve digital skills for all, what kind of challenges or issues we face? That is what we need a problems-oriented approach, which allows us to take targeted measures to improve digital skills of all citizens. The progress of digitalization has an impact on various aspects of our social life, including the government, the way of governance, the way people lead their lives, and the way the economy operates. It calls on both professionals and the general public to know more about such skills. Otherwise, they would face a number of challenges. For example, there is still a shortage of professional workers, skilled workers in this area. Digitalization has generated a great number of new jobs or occupations in recent years. The ministry has announced 56 new jobs. We have over 1,800 new occupations in China in total. So in recent years, we have seen 56 new occupations. Most of them are related to digital technologies, like market promoters on the social media, etc. And there's a huge demand for these kind of skilled workers because there's a big job demand in these industries and sectors. That is why we need educational and training resources in these areas. And we have a shortage in terms of training and education as well. Another issue is that traditional sectors are facing a shortage of skilled workers. They need to address this structural issue in terms of a skilled workforce. Traditional manufacturing sectors, for example, digital control of machine, tools, machinery, with the wide application of digital technologies. Such machinery have become more digitalized, which calls on its operators to master relevant technologies. Many elder workers have problems adjusting their skills to meet the new requirements. This also means that the general public, the whole population, needs to develop such skills. There has been increased media coverage on such issues, tailor-made clothes, virtual applications, mobile phone-based food ordering, etc. Such new business forms have emerged and thrived in Chinese cities and countryside. They have brought a great convenience to our lives, but also have allowed us to feel strongly, especially the elder generation or people with limited education, or those people with disabilities. Such populations have difficulties mastering and using such digital technologies. In other words, the digital gap has become a technology gap. Those vulnerable groups with little digital skills will have difficulties with their life. The senior citizens cannot use mobile phones. They would have difficulties in their daily life. And another issue is that our education and training systems for digital skilled workers need to be improved. There's still a gap in these areas. This means that government and training agencies or employers need to work together to address such gaps. One of the other things that we have in China is that as we try to improve the digital skills of our population, we have adopted a number of approaches, which I would like to share with you here. One of the things we do is that in terms of policies and systems, we have developed a top-level design for such systems which prioritize training and education. We have developed plans for educating the public. The relevant government authorities have launched initiatives like Digital China, in which digital skills training and education is an important component. Many sectors and industries in China are also developing their own plans for skilled training, like education, healthcare, transportation, culture, etc. These sectors are developing their own plans for digital education and training, which aimed to improve the skills of their workforce. We are also speeding up the improvement of relevant curriculums, programs, and training methods. For example, for those vocational training schools, we, on a regular basis, upgrade their curriculums to insert digital components and relevant courses. For example, we are working on developing textbooks and materials for relevant disciplines and programs. And we are adding the digital component to existing textbooks and curriculums. We are also fostering college and industry partnerships. Some leading companies in the digital industry have been deeply involved in the training and education at college and education institutions. And we are also developing new methods and programs for vet training. If degree learning is more like for a long-term program, vet training is more like medium and short-term training programs. Over the past few years, we have worked on AI, cloud computing, big data, and other vet training programs. Meanwhile, we are developing digital solutions, what we call Internet Plus training solutions. We are offering electronic coupons. These coupons are for targeted groups. They are connected to their Social Security cards. With such coupons, people can choose modules and courses they would like to take, and such courses are subsidized by the government. The trainees with the coupons do not need to pay for the courses. They can take the course for free and improve their skills. We started pilots in early 2020. By September this year, we issued about 8.7 million coupons. The use has already exceeded 2 million. So it's an ongoing progress, and we are making continued progress. In spite of COVID-19, which has affected offline face-to-face training, over the past 2 years, our online training, the Internet Plus training programs, have made great strides. Last year, we selected over 50 providers for online training, which trained the general public with all kinds of programs and curriculum in the area of digital skills. In addition to that, we are working hard to develop new professions in the area of digital skills. We are modifying our standards and our catalog of professions, and we are adding the newly generated digital jobs. We had done the job on green professions, and now we are working on digital jobs. So we are further characterizing and classifying such digital professions and jobs so that the labor force would have an idea of what kinds of occupations are more like green in the green sector and what are in the digital sector, so that they can get a better idea of the classification. Well, as our Russian colleague has mentioned, we are also working on carrying out different kinds of competitions, digital skills competitions, which we believe will drive more people to engage in learning and education activities. Before the end of this year, we plan to host a new professional digital skills competition, which would include 20 items. Most of them are in the area of digital technology and skills, such as virtual reality, artificial intelligence, blockchain, the Internet of Things, Internet-based marketing, among others. Most of these areas will be covered by the competition items. It's a specialized competition. At the same time, as we host other kinds of skills competitions, we are going to encourage the organizers to add digital items as part of their program in order to help guide training and education activities in such areas and skill items. So these are some of our thoughts and practices in China in the area of digital skills. We would like to strengthen our communication with you all in such areas so that we can work together to improve the digital skills and competencies of our workforce and our population to meet the demand of economic and the social growth.
Thank you, Mr. Zhai Tao. Yeah. So I think that he is not only gave the definition after research, he also tried to categorize, give the different types about digital application skills and digital professional skills. And even he shared what we have been doing so far in China about our currently difficulty and challenges, and also the action plans about how to strategic governing and also top-level design, not only about TVET strategies, and also in other solutions have been put into use for such kind of short-term training, some human resource capacity building, and the establishment of the new occupations, and even others, some nationally, some policies, just for promoting and facilitating the improving digital skills in China, not only for young generation, but also for aged people, and not only for big city, such kind of the cosmopolitan in Shanghai, or large cities, but also for rural area and backwards area, such kind, like in Tibet and Xinjiang. Yeah. So I think that it's very good. That's a great opportunity to hear in, all the presentations from our three speakers. So now we are come to the area about the question and answer. Yeah. So now we already have some questions to our panelists. Yeah. So I'll try to ask them due to time restriction. I will try to ask each question for one panelist. Yeah. So we got one. It's for the Mr. Paul Posgetec from Poland. So the question is, people says digital transforming is like transforming a caterpillar into a butterfly. If you make the good use of old technology to speed up this process, you can move faster as a caterpillar, but not a butterfly. Yeah. So what do you think about it? Yeah. In your knowledge, in your understanding, is there any way to identify or evaluate a real digital transforming? Yeah. Yes, please. Paul, over to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I refer to my presentation, you remember on one of the slides I showed the results of our survey conducted on almost 1,000 Erasmus Plus project leaders. And what we could see was that the sign of real digital transformation is the effectiveness, actually, is the level of effectiveness in maintaining contacts and cooperating in virtual space with your partners, international partners. Erasmus Plus program is a good example for this because it is based on international cooperation. And the survey and the research showed that it's not only about digital skills, but it's first of all about social skills, about the ability to maintain your network. Digital skills are only a tool to do it, but actually we need to learn how to use these tools to move our real world into the virtual world. So as I showed you, the activities and the programs which have been implemented by the European Commission, not only in Poland but in the whole Europe, for the last 30 years, actually from the very beginning, the stress was put on the use of ICT. At that time, we thought that using the ICT is just the demand of the modern times, because we have those tools, we should use them. But now the pandemic situation actually accelerated to a great extent the implementation of those tools. But as I said, the real sign which shows us that this transformation, digital transformation is successful, is actually the effectiveness of the use of those tools. And those we can measure this effectiveness by the way how people cooperate and perform the tasks which before the pandemic were performed face-to-face or in standard conditions.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I'm sure the caterpillar welcomes to the butterfly. Yeah. Okay. The next question is for Ms. Alina Daskanova from Russia, and the question is, what is the biggest challenge or maybe difficult for organizing such kind of the skills competition in digital way, and how did you resolve it? Yeah, please, Alina, over to you.
Thank you for the question. Basically, the key challenge is to organize digital skills competition. You should find experts who are actually teachers or trainers who have these skills. So it's for all of us, it's important not just to provide digital skills for students or for competitors. We have to change our educational system and to be sure that our trainers and masters are able to have these digital skills. So for us, we set up series of learning sessions for experts and masters to teach them these digital skills. So this was one of the hugest challenge for us. Then, of course, it was a lot of questions regarding the same access to digital infrastructure. So in this case, you have to collaborate with real sector who can help you. And also it was a question how to manage with test projects, how to manage with assessment. So in this case, it was some kind of skill by skill solutions. So also regarding the questions with challenge, we have question in chat, which tips you have to attract companies, because actually it can be a challenge for all of us who are working in the education sector, how to attract companies to create solutions. So tips are following. From one hand, you have the one who are vendor who develop equipment. And this vendor would like that this equipment will be in the market. So nowadays, it's not just enough to provide equipment. You have to provide people who are able to use this equipment. So in this case, to develop new educational course is a part of business model. And from another hand, as it was mentioned by China today, that shortage of skills in the labor market of digital skills is so huge that our big corporation, of course, are interested to support us with digital skills because they need people who have these skills. So in this case, different motivation for different companies, but basically you just have to bring all of them together on one table, on one side, and to cooperate and communicate. So in this case, for us, digital skills competition is like negotiation platform as well.
Thank you so much. Very, very interesting and the brilliant perspective. Yeah. Thank you, Alina. And thank you so much for your help. Yeah. And next question is goes to Mr. Zhai Tao. And the question is, we have noticed that Mr. Zhai Tao have mentioned in his presentation is about digital skills promotion nationwide, or maybe for all, in all, So why did you emphasize on that nationwide or in all? Yes, please.
Thank you very much for your question. It's an honor for me to exchange with the distinguished guests from around the world on digital skills promotion. It's true that we are promoting skills, abilities, training across China for all, and we have detailed action plans and concrete work being done currently. This question just raised is actually a common question for guests here present. We are a vast country with 1.4 billion people. If we want to enhance the digital abilities of all of our population, it might be a possible mission. But we can see this from two different angles. First of all, the enhancement of digital skills for all is a vision for the next 4 years or even longer term, because it's written into the 14th five-year plan and the long-term objectives through 2035. So we have a certain period of time to reach our goals. I've also highlighted the research that we've carried out in digital abilities enhancement. On the one hand, we need to promote specialized digital abilities. Secondly, we need to promote general abilities for digital abilities for the general public to meet our ordinary needs in our daily lives. So these are the two different levels of digital abilities. And in some extreme cases, for example, for senior citizens, for handicapped populations, they have low requirements, low demands, or basic demands for digital abilities. So we have multi-tiered different levels of digital abilities requirements. So we need a targeted approach. If we enhance digital abilities for all, we can promote the development of the digital economy for our country. So this is a mutually reinforcing two cycles. If everyone could master or use digital tools, then this would also reinforce the development of digitalization of our industries and digital economy. We believe that we could progressively reach these goals. And if we reach the digital abilities for all goal, we could then reinforce digital in industries development and digital economy development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Answer for Mr. Zhai Tao. Yeah. So I think he just discussed that digital skills promotion should be for everybody. Yeah. So even aged people, even for the people with special needs. And after that, I think the economy, industry, and users, so there will be a synergy and be some multi roles have been paid for better improvement for the digital skills in China. Okay, due to the time restriction, so our decision is going to is almost running out of time. Yeah. So here I would like to say thank you all our dear speakers from Poland, from Russia, and from China, and even thank you our conference coalition partners. Yeah, it's almost the time for wrapping up our panel, digital skills. Yeah. Today, it's most probably the last session of the whole WorldSkills Conference 2021. 3 speakers, respectively, share the experience and practices, and they also look into the future. Yeah. So I would like to say the presentation are not only interesting, but also thought-provoking, especially for now, the very moment when we are facing the unprecedented epidemic threatening all human being lives. Our hope haven't been changed, and our faith will never fade. I believe what we are doing here will inspire us for fighting against the pandemic and make us stronger even. Not only survival from the catastrophe, but also pave the way lead up to the better and bright tomorrow. Thank you, all my dear audience, our honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll have the closing, the plenary from the 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Yeah, please join us and enjoy. Last and not the least, we are looking forward to see you all in next year's WorldSkills Conference 2022. Thank you and goodbye.